Hi, welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. I'm Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. Um, I am. Hopefully this stuff will be working good. And it does look like I'm live. So hopefully, it's not working second. So welcome. Hope you guys have had a great week. Hope you had a lovely holiday. Last weekend we had Easter. I think it was Ramadan, and there's another one too. It was like Passover, right? So I think they had um, all of the holidays last weekend. But I hope you guys had a great week too. And it is super windy here in Arizona, so hopefully um, my broadcast will be fine. But I have a very adorable card. I love this card, so I'm excited about showing you guys how to make it. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me turn you guys down. Let's see. Here we go. Yay! Okay. So I'm actually going to be using things out of our mini catalog. Um, as you know, right now we still have our last chance sale that's happening from the annual catalog. And I am actually going to be using Misty Moonlight. It's probably my last project using Misty Moonlight. I love Misty Moonlight. I'm very sad. You can still get the paper and the ink pad for Misty Moonlight, but I think the refill sold out. But a lot of things that are in this are designer series paper starting to sell out. I think one of the die sets, well, the die sets have already sold out. As a matter of fact, one of the DSP that we used today actually did sell out overnight, of course. But I was making a ton of these cards. I love them so much. But I'm actually using 3 different sets today to create our card, which I know is quite a bit, but I couldn't help it. I love it so much. Okay, so we're actually using the On the Horizon bundle. This has got a fabulous set of dies. Like I said, we've already seen the new catalog, and isn't that beautiful? And if you don't have a demonstrator and would like the catalog, just let me know in the comments. I'll have my information in this email. In this video, and of course it's also on my website, Christy Stampin' Spot. But I can get one of these out to you. My catalogs, I've got catalogs going out today, and at the beginning of next week too, I have a few more that's going out. But I love this; it's so gorgeous. There's so many beautiful things. I can't wait to be able to show you. This goes live May 3rd, so that means you can still get the product, the Misty Moonlight stuff until May 2nd, because that's actually what's here in the annual catalog, is the Misty Moonlight. Um, Everything else I think is in our mini. But anyway, so On the Horizon, I love this stamp set, and we know that this one is not carrying over. So if you love the beach stuff, I would say get it because it is so awesome. And of course, when you buy a bundle, you get that at 10% off. Get my find it now. I love this whole suite. I think this is one of my favorite suite. It is my favorite suite in the mini, the January to June mini catalog, spring catalog. Love this. I've played with this paper. I think I played with the stamp set too. I love it. Love it. But if you buy the bundle, you can get 10% off. And I love these dies. I was kind of sad that this one didn't come out because I love these dies so much. So we're actually going to use, so these are the gorgeous dies. It has like the mountains, also like hills and water shape. And then this makes a really cool wood planks that kind of fit together like a puzzle piece that you use this to stamp it, and then you can cut it out. And I actually, we're going to use that stamp today too. It's got the beach fence and some grass. So I love this die set. I love it so much. So again, I love the Beyond the Horizons. But what I really love about this is that it really builds. So we are going to use the sentiment from Waves of Inspiration because I love the You're So Totally Awesome. And this, of course, is a part of our Waves of the Ocean um, special that's going on right now, the collection. I think the foil and the rhinestones that match this have already sold out, but the paper, the designer series paper, is just gorgeous. And I've made several projects with this. But luckily the dies and the stamp set, it will be in the next catalog. And I love the sentiment, You're Totally Awesome. It's such a great And it's so easily read. Like, I love that so much about that. And then the other sentiment we're actually going to use is from the On the Horizons. I love it. And the Oceanfront. Now, I love this set. So I know we've had a couple of scene building sets in the past. The on the water, I think it's on the waterfront. We had one with the gazebo. I love all those. I have them all. They're so fun. They're deceptively easy to use. Like, so it looks like it's gonna be hard, but it's super easy. And so I just wanted to make sure I actually got on and showed you guys how to make this card. It's so awesome. Love it so much. Okay, so we're gonna use the sand piece, all three of these pieces. I think the rocks and the big grass are the only things we're not using. We're going to use um, this grass, long grass, short grass, and sand, and then of course it's sky, ocean, and sand. So love, love, love. We're also going to use the rectangle dies, and I love these stitch rectangle dies. You can see, you're probably like, wow, that's an old folder. Yeah, because I think this might be one of the things that are in the catalog that's been there the longest. It hasn't retired. I got it when it first came out, and it's a great set of dies if you love stitch rectangles. And they're really nice for card fronts. And we're actually going to use the third largest today. And again, when I get this up on my blog, you guys can see I'll have all the measurements, of course, on how to make this card. But I wanted to show you, and I actually already did all the die cutting out, and we're actually, that's, I'm just going to peel that off for you guys so you can see, but that's the rectangle that we're using. Let's go ahead and set these aside. And then, so that's on the horizon. We're not going to use this paper. We're actually going to make our own. Like I said, we're going to, with the basic white, I cut it out. So awesome. And then, of course, there's the on the water, the ocean front, which we're using. And then the waves, what is it called? Waves of Inspiration, which is part of the Waves of the Ocean. That is a specialty item that you can find also in my online store. So we're also going to be using what are they called? The Home and Heart Memories and More cards. So I love these cards. They I know I've done several things with them. I bought a ton of them because I love them so much, and I wanted to make this card so I can send them out with my catalogs. But they are on page 59 of the catalog of the mini. So let's go to page 59. I had it and I lost it. Here we go, right here. So you can get, it's a set of 10. Let's see. Number 8. Yeah. So it's $10, but it has 20 card bases and 20 matching envelopes. And these are the bigger size. They're the 4 1/4, but they're 6 1/4. It's how big instead of 5 1/2. So they're a much bigger size, but it's a great, and it also has the little ones. And I know I've made a bunch of those with this. And now this is the designer series paper that matches that also. Let's see, what was I say? Page 59. And since I have the In Good Taste have already sold out, you could use the wood paper, the wood grain paper that is a part of this bundle 9, the Home and Heart 12 by 12 designer series paper. So it has like the grayish wood instead of the brown wood, and it would still look really awesome. I just wanted to make sure I used all that fabulous In Good Taste designer series paper. So that's one of the reasons why I chose to use it. And I just cut up a bunch of the sheets. So here's the last batch that I made. I haven't mailed that yet. I made a ton of these cards for my customers, but they see, even with like the different variations of the colors, it still looks really awesome. Whether it's on a dark background or a lighter background, this just looks so good. Love, love, love how this turned out. So pretty. So pretty. And actually, it's not as hard as it seems. It is a lot of little pieces and steps, but to put together, it's actually not that hard. So that's exciting. Okay, so we're going to start with my In the Horizons away. Go ahead and get started with this card. Get it all laid out. Put my stamp sets away so they don't Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to start with one of these Memory More, the Heart and Home Memory More card bases. And like I said, it is a bigger card base. So I did do my measurements are a little bit different than I would usually use. It is the same mostly going this way, but again, it's a much longer card. So I have changed some of my measurements up so they wouldn't exactly fit on a regular card. But like I said, I'll have all the measurements up on my blog. So I cut out down a piece of that in good taste, and then I took the basic white, and I just cut up a bunch of them. They're so awesome. And this is that in good taste, and the basic white, and this is the stitch rectangle, and I use the third largest. So pretty. That's that. Over there. And we're actually going to stamp our all our stuff on there. I have a blank one here. Yep. You're totally awesome. And I did from the On the Horizon dies, I die cut out this is the grass piece in crumb cake. And then I die cut out the one fence piece in early espresso. But we're going to add some texture to these by stamping directly on them. Okay, so let's go ahead, and then this is my inside piece. Like I said, it's very different. I've already I had a bunch left, so you guys don't have to watch me stamp that again. But it's 5.5 by 3 7/8 because that's what my normal 3 7/8 is my normal inside. But 5.5 is just the size of that regular. If you cut a piece of basic white in half, at the 5.5, so you get 2 pieces, or instead of long ways at the 4 1/4. So I can get 4 inside sheets out of one piece of paper. And then I've just stamped it again with, I'm going to stamp it on the back so you guys can see what it is. But it's the Relax, Enjoy Your Day, and that's from my Ocean set, as well as the birds. It's from the On the Horizon. And, I think, no, the Relax is from the On the Horizon, too. I think it's You're Totally Awesome. That's the Ocean set. And the Long Grass is from the On the Horizon. That's for the inside piece. And then, let's see. Check my to-do. So hopefully it isn't getting blurry. No, it's like really so windy. You can probably hear how bad it's like clanking everything around outside. Okay, so we're gonna build our card, but we're gonna stamp all of our image. As you can see, there's 3 different. We're gonna use lots of ink too on this, and then we're gonna build our scene, and then wrap it in the linen thread. I love the linen thread, and then we're going to mount it on here and then mount it on there. So it's actually not too hard. It just takes lots of steps. Okay, so now I've got my piece of basic white and the stitch rectangle, and we are going to use over here so you guys can see it. So you can see it is the we've got the sky piece, we need our sand piece, and we need our ocean piece. So we're going to start with our sky at the top, and I'm going to use the Balmy Blue. Now I'm going to need to stamp off a lot, so make sure you have a nice piece of copy paper, or if you can get our beautiful grid paper. I love our grid paper. And then these are really big stamps, so you want to make sure they're clean, but you want to make sure you get them good and inked. And so there's not any, and they are distinctive, so they have like the variations. I want to stamp off once. Get it nice. Stamp off. But see how it has a little bit on here. But I don't know if I've cut up off too much, but you can see there's like a little spot there, which means I had something on there. Not get it nice. Oh, I know. It's because I need to use my mat. So I'm glad I looked. So definitely with the bigger photopolymer, make sure you do use a mat. Then you can really get a cleaner image. But when I did that and I did not get it as even, it'll be darker. It has little darker spots. then when I'm happy with the way it looks, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it onto my basic white. It's my sky. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And then, you know, I was trying not to get the spots. It still did a little bit of the spots. But that's all right because it is a sky. So it's not too bad. And then, let's see, we need the water. And the water, I'm using the Misty Moonlight. Get that nice and clean. And again, this is the ink color that is retiring. And if you, when you're stamping them up, you can see it is uneven. The ink is a little uneven because it is a distinctive. So it does all the shading for you. I love the photopolymer because you can just awesome. Line it up. It's so nice. So nice. Off. And then we're going to use the sand. We're going to use the sand. We're going to use our crumb cake. And as you can tell from the size, right, the sand is little. So we're going to stamp this one a couple times. So the edge here that's the more straight edge is the top. So I'm going to stamp up here, and I'm going to stamp that. Make sure you get that on there nice and even. That's pretty. And then you're going to pivot it. So now I'm going to make sure that this side and this side touch. So you're going to have like it's open right here. And we're just going to do it right in the middle. Pretty. And then if you don't want as much white on that side, then just overstamp it. I want it to be less. Actually, I guess it needs a little bit more. So you can just multiple stamp it until you've got your sand. But see how the way the color variation is, really looks like it's movement. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. So pretty. These are great, fabulous stamps. Love them so much. And this one is staying, which is awesome. Okay, so now we have to also, now we're going to stamp our foliage and stuff on here as well. So we're going to use our espresso. And for these, I got to do the sand. Oops, I went ahead. I got to finish the sand. I did that. The sand, you need the crumb cake again, and you need the sand stamp. And that is on the Oceanfront. It's this little speckly one right here. That's the sand. And stamp that up. Just stamp down the edge. Kind of fills in if you have any gaps or color variation that you don't like. This works really nice. The sand stippling is so pretty. It really does add. I don't know if you can tell that on camera as much, but it's so awesome. Love, love, love. Okay, now we can stamp our foliage with the early espresso. So I'm going to use the big, longer, I don't think those are cattails, but we want to make sure we get that nice and inked in our early espresso. And I want it to come up over the water on this side. Just like that. Pretty. Oh, so pretty. And then I'm going to do my birds. And these birds are from the On the Horizon. I love these birds. Right there. You guys see that? Right here on the bottom. The birds. So awesome. Okay. Choo-choo. Goes up. And I'm going to use the early espresso on these two. Just have them going off. Just like that. Oh, it's so nice. Looks so good. Then I'm actually going to use the my soft subtle, or not soft subtle, my soft suede to put the other grass in, just to kind of give more variation of color. I like all the variation of color. And I'm going to use the grass that is from the shorter grass. That is from the Oceanfront stamp set. And I'm just going to put that. You can't really see it the way we're doing it, but I'm just putting like one over here on the edge, and one down a little bit more, just so you can actually make it come up just even more. I can zoom in. There we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Now you can really see. I just have to make sure I don't go off camera. Isn't that awesome? Oh, it looks so pretty. Now we've done our stamping. So as you can see, that's the where I've got cactus, and you can kind of see some of the grass peeking out around the fence, which is why we really need it, just to kind of give a variation of color. It's so awesome. Okay, so then we need to build our fence. So I don't stamps until later. Out of the way. We're going to use our we've got our linen thread. Now I've stamped, not stamped. I have die cut out my wooden fence and my fabulous grass and crumb cake. So the fence is in early espresso, and the grass is in the crumb cake. And I'm going to use the this one, the wooden piece that is from the On the Horizon. I'm going to stamp that with the early espresso and with the ocean ones. So, and you're going to stamp it twice, just on there. So make sure you have another something underneath, because you do stamp on top. So even though it's not, you won't be able to see it too much, but it does on the card. Yeah, maybe I can do it like that. You can kind of see. It really does add something to just use that to add like grain and dimension to your piece of wood fence, which is awesome. Now, get that cleaned off so I don't get it all over me. And I guess we need the crumb cake again for our grass. Now, they don't have a piece of the grass that matches exactly. I'm going to go ahead and use this long grass that is from Bigger Grass Place. It's from the On the Horizon set. And I'm just going to stamp on top of this multiple times just to kind of give it some color and shape. And I'm doing it in crumb cake, so it's not, you can't like get it perfect. But just getting a little bit of the color on there really just adds some texture with the grass. Looks nice. It might not be necessary, but I think it just adds just a little bit, makes it worth the extra step doing that. Okay, so now we don't need this anymore. Now we can build. Okay, so we have our fabulous beach scene. Now we want to add these to this. Now, I am going to use glue. If you hate to use glue, you can do this with the, if you were going to use the adhesive sheets, then I would take your piece of early espresso, and then I would stamp it with the early espresso with this, and then put the sticky sheet on the back, and then die cut it out, instead of the way I did it, where I stamped on after I had die cut it. Anyway, you would do the same thing with the grass too. Because I'm going to use glue, but if you don't want to use glue and you want to use those adhesive sheets, you would I would just stamp the grass, and then you just cut the grass out of where you've stamped it. Okay. The same way as you did with this. So I want one of the fence posts to be off of the page. So I'm going to do this now. Depending on where you've stamped your long grass, well, how much fence you have. So you want to show some fence, and you want it to go off the edge. But if you have it's too far up, it doesn't show enough of the seam. So it just depends on where you like it. The reason why you want to go off just a little bit, so that you want to make sure one full thing is off, because we're going to wrap our linen thread between the stitch rectangle and the last fence post. So I have that where it's going over, just like that. And then we're going to use glue. And then if you use the sticky sheets, you would want to then use embossing buddy or something to remove, which I guess we don't sell that. It's like cornstarch, where you would dust up the one, or try not to get any adhesive on that side, because that one piece is going off. Unless you're really good, you do it on the mat, on your silicone mat. Maybe that would help. To make sure that when you're putting your thing together, you don't actually stick it down to your paper. I guess you can use your silicone mat if you use your sticky. So if you use the self-adhesive, make sure you use your silicone mat, your silicone craft mat for that step when you're putting it on, so that you don't accidentally stick your fence post to your piece of scratch paper. Okay, now we need to wrap it. And how I've done it is I just pull it through right here, your linen thread. So I have enough right here to tie my bow. Actually, for this, I think I better go out, because there's no way I'm going to be able to keep it together to not get that off camera. Okay, and then you're just going to wrap it around, just like that, and cut it. I will measure how much it really is, so you know you don't have to actually do it like that. I just do it like that, so I waste as less amount of thread, little thread as you can. And of course, because this is not, you don't use any adhesive to hold this down, you can move it around to where you want your bow to go. And I always make sure I put my bow on the top, if I can remember. Move that around. Make my bow, which used to be so much easier before I broke my wrists. A little bit more trouble with it nowadays than I did before. My finger dexterity is not as what it used to be, but there you go. And again, like I like little bows, depending on how big you want your curly bow, your pieces to be. You can also curl your little thread using a bone folder. You can wrap it around a pencil too, a pencil type object. You take a pick tool if you want to make it really curly. I'm just going to play with my bow a little bit, just so it's kind of the right loop size. I'm not going to cut these off until after I'm done putting on my sentiment, just so that in case I have to rearrange it somehow, I haven't cut it short already, or I glued it to the card front so that it's all over the place, right? So I have more space. Okay, so then for the sentiment, this is, I think it's just 1 inch by 2 inch. So 1 inch by 2 inch, or maybe it's 3/4, 7/8. I don't know. I'll have it on. I had my There it is. I forget what it was. I think it was an inch. Yeah, it's 1 inch by 2 inches for the sentiment. And I'm going to use the You're Totally Awesome, which I love, from that Waves of Inspiration stamp set with the early espresso. Nice and inked. Now, because this is a red rubber stamp, you don't really need to stamp it on. You don't really need cushion because it already has its cushion, unlike the photopolymer. Let's get that off. Doo-doo. Nice and clean. I want to make sure I get my stamps clean, otherwise I will put my hands in it. I know I will, which won't be good. And then I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensional. Actually, 2 Stampin' Dimensionals. And just attach this to my card front. And you kind of put it where you want it. I kind of manipulated mine so it's kind of a little off of the page, but overlapping the fence and the second thing of grass. I kind of like the way that looks. I'll use my scissors. Just trim that side. If you want, you can put a glue dot down behind here to hold your bow in place. but I'm just going to leave it. It looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Love, love, love. And then, let's see. Then we're going to glue it to our piece of good in taste designer series paper that I've cut down. I think I mentioned it is, I think, yeah, 5 by 3 3 3/4. So that fits really nice on there. I think I originally wanted it to be a little catty corner, which is pretty if you want to. But I did all, for some reason, even though I was going to do a catty corner, I didn't. Catty corner, I just kept it straight. So I'm going to use glue and just add this stitched or stamped stitched rectangle. It has our fence post and our fabulous grass piece on there. The linen thread. Just use glue to attach it. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so pretty. Love it so much. And like I said, it would look really good too with the that other paper as well. Love that other paper as well. But oh, it looks so good. Okay, and then I'm just gonna glue this onto that piece. And then I kind of just make sure you've got it kind of even in between. Get that nice and straight. Look nice. Oh, so pretty. Love it. Now I got a little bit of glue. I'll go by afterwards and make sure I have my eraser to make sure I don't have too many spooges. Because it leaves a little shiny mark. And like I said, I use the glue erasers. I think you can get them at you can definitely get them on Amazon. And they're like $1 or $2. You can get them at the dollar store, so I guess that would be $1.25 now, which is not a bad price. Here we go, and look, that's our card front. So I just the basic white stitch rectangle, and then I stamped the balmy blue, the sky, and they're all and the stamped off except for the sand at the bottom, but you can barely see the sand. You really cover it up. But you can see it behind the fence, which is why it was important to do it. Plus, you never know exactly how you're going to put it on there. And then this is the stamped off Misty Moonlight, and then stamped off Balmy Blue, and then the full strength. Those birds are the Early Espresso. And then I've stamped that wood grain image and Early Espresso onto this Early Espresso die cut fence posts that are from the On the Horizon die. The same as this is the crumb cake cut out with On the Horizon's die, and then stamped with the grass from On the Horizon. So that's how I made that one. But of course, I did the grass too underneath that one. But go, and then on the inside, so you could, because it is a printed, you don't have to add the extra inside layer. I like to add the extra inside layer just so that it gives it a more stability. And like I said, I could have cut this a little bit longer instead of 5.5, but I chose 5.5 because then I could get 4 inside sheet pieces from one piece of basic white, especially since I was making a ton. I wanted to make, I had to do the comment, what was the best use of the cardstock, and it doesn't look bad in there, which I like. So on this piece of basic white, I just stamped the same images that were on the front. And then when I did stamp these birds, I just added ink to these 3, like that. It's these 3. These 3 right here. I just stamped it so that there's enough of a gap between the birds that you can do that if you wanted to, or you could just stamp it like that. I would stamp it before you put it in. Inside though, your card otherwise you'll get the ink on your inside panel like that. I'll show you guys how to. And on the back, I will also do with the Early Espresso, because I don't really have a designer series paper. I had this one. I could have done that, but because I just did a bunch of panels, and I didn't want to have to try to keep track of which 2 pieces of cardstock would match my designer series paper. If I was only making one of them, it would have been easy to keep, or even two or three, to keep track of what designer series paper I used so that I could make sure the strips were the same. But because I need a huge stack, I just cut up all the wood grain that were in that I had left of the In Good Taste um, stamp designer series paper pack. I didn't even want to bother with it, which is why I used stamps to add to pull the theme through instead of designer series paper. And here's the. Those are so cute. Love, love, love. And then of course it's not complete until you have the logo on there. So awesome. There's the Stampin' Up! Logo. I like it because I feel like the card is finished when I use the logo. Kind of like you look for that homework sign. You look for my Stampin' Up! Sign. I like that so much. But you don't, unless you're going to sell your card, you don't really need to include it. But I love the Angels policy. And we have that new set. So the handmade for you that's in the annual catalog is already sold out. But starting May 3rd, you can get the limited edition. And I've actually already changed it. So that's the Stampin' Up! That is the Stampin' Up! Logo that's in the limited edition, which is a fabulous set of hand, because it says hand stamped. The Stampin' Up! Logo. Here's just for you, made with love, handcrafted from the heart of. With the Stampin' Up! Lego, your one-of-a-kind creation. The paper hug does not have, but you can of course do the paper hug and then add the Stampin' Up! Logo, because that one is separated, and then this is the limited edition. Limited edition with a little flower, which is super cute. So that's going to be in the new catalog that's available starting May 3rd in my online store. So that you can use that to adhere to your angel policy. Now, you can also decorate your envelopes. And I am going to do that too. I'll show you. I'm just going to use the early espresso for that. And then, let's see, I'm going to use 4 birds going like that. Isn't that pretty? Awesome. And then if you wanted to add, put your stuff in your ink. What's on the front, you're totally awesome. Put the totally awesome on the back flap. And then maybe put more birds, maybe. Sure I'm doing it right. There we go. More birds. I can do more of those. Just like that. Oh, so pretty. So now I have a matching envelope. And it has, of course, that blue Misty Moonlight stripes on the inside. Isn't that gorgeous? I love, love, love. So it's actually not really a hard card to make. You do need to die cut out a few things and then stamp on them. But it turned out so pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed my Oceanfront. I forget what did I call it? The On the Horizon Oceanfront card. And like I said, I'm going to send these out. These are for my customers. And to go in to remind them about the new catalog and that there's still stuff from the mini that's available. Our mini catalog goes until June 30th, except for the in colors. In colors will be gone starting May 2nd. So May 2nd is the last day to get any of the in colors that are the 2020, 2022 in colors. Because our new in colors will be available starting May 3rd. So I love these Memories of More cards because you get 20 cards and 20 envelopes. Look how pretty that looks. It's awesome. And that in the Oceanfront is so nice to use. You don't even have to use your Stamparatus to make these line up so nice because of the way they've designed them to have the ink variation. It just looks so pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's card. I know that I did not get on again yesterday, Thursday. It was another crazy day between my daughter had a change in her schedule, and I have a son that's out of state for work. So things are a little bit crazy, and oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can still hear that wind. My allergies have just been killing me. But I wanted to get on and show you guys this card because it's so pretty. I just love the way that turned out. And it was so simple, easy. I mean, you just have to add all the stuff on. So it does take a little while to put it together, but it's so worth the results. Love, love, love. So I just want to remind you guys that if um, you don't have a demonstrator and you like a catalog, please let me know. I'd be happy to get one to you. Isn't that gorgeous? We're only allowed to show you guys the cover. It's so pretty. I'm actually getting together with some friends. We're going to try to make that card that's in the front there this weekend. And then we're still in our in color, celebrating in color paper pumpkin period where you can get that until the 10th of May. And they're using all the ink colors. So I think the ink spot is gray, which goes really well with the basic gray that goes well with all the ink colors. And it makes 10 cards. And then it has like little pieces that we can attach to the cards to make them also gift card holders. So it's so awesome. It's a great paper pumpkin kit. Um, it's so awesome. Like I'm excited. It seems like every month they just get better and better and better. I just I love all the paper pumpkin. And then of course we're in the very end of our last chance sale. So you have until May 2nd to get what's left. I think some, like I said, some of the designer series paper. We had that huge sale yesterday. Thank you for all my customers that purchased and took advantage of that free shipping yesterday, which is super awesome. But because there was a lot of purchasing yesterday, there's not as many last chance products that were available at the beginning of the day yesterday as there are at the beginning of today. But there's still some really great deals and some fabulous things from that annual catalog that are retiring that you guys can still get. So if you want any of those things, make sure you get on and get them quick because May 2nd is the last day. So thank you guys so much. Like I said, if you need anything, go ahead and use my host code. I think if you spend $50 in my online store this month, you get the free pack of the polished dots, which I love. And man, it seems like it was so long ago. Oh right, it's that fabulous artistically. No, is it Oh no, Hoot Nanny! I always forget the name of that paper. That's what I've got for my thanks. Using those stitch dies, and those stitch dies. Before I went on, I looked the Stamp So Sweetly or Stitch So Sweetly dies, which is my favorite set of dies that are retiring. If you don't have those, you should totally get those. Those are super awesome. That's my thank you cards for this one. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I hope your weather is good. I hope you're here local in Arizona. Stay safe. That wind is super high. Hopefully we won't have any problems with our stuff like we did that one time we had the super high warning for wind. It like ripped our pool heating solar panels off, which is not awesome. But hopefully, though, nobody else will have any problems. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed my On the Horizon Oceanfront card. It's so cute. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and weekend. Happy crafting. Bye.